All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, call Allah, Allah. Salaki Alahayin Nawa Yahweh by Shemi Al Shai by Shem Harakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who will teach well. And hearty shalom to the elect, also to Wadiyah by Shemi Al Shai for allowing me to do this lesson. All right. More nuclear talks, okay? All right. Nuclear war is going to happen. All right. Nuclear war is going to happen with the main weapon being used for nuclear war is thermonuclear missiles, okay? All right. And before I read the article, let me get, I think it's Jeremiah 25. Like it says, Babylon will be judged. And Babylon, the new Babylon, okay, is America, all right? This is not the one, but I'm gonna read it anyway. This is Jeremiah chapter 25 and verse. I'm gonna start at 30. No, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start at 26. And all the kings of the north, far and near, one with another, and all the kingdoms of the world which are upon the face of the earth, and the king of Shishak shall drink after them. All right, and that Shishak, that name goes back to Babylon, the king of Babylon. Okay. Therefore thou shalt say unto them, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the power of Israel, drink and be drunken and spew and fall and rise no more, because of the sword which I will send among you. All right. And the sword that the Lord is going to send, okay, is thermonuclear missiles. All right. And it shall be, if they refuse to take the cup and to drink at thy hand and to drink, thou shalt say unto them, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, ye shall certainly drink. So there's no escaping the sword of the Lord that's coming. All right. Nothing that can be said, nothing that can be done. It's all prophetic, and we want prophecy to happen. Okay. So it says, for lo, I begin to bring evil upon the city which is called by my name, and should ye be utterly unpunished? The Lord brought evil to the city, Jerusalem, okay, both northern and southern kingdom, all right, by the way of man invading the land, okay, and putting our people into captivity, okay. All right, the Lord is going to do the same thing here to America. The Lord is going to invade the land himself, Yahushai, 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, Isaiah, the 63rd chapter, Revelation, the 19th chapter, okay? All right, the Lord Yahushai is going to invade the place. All right, war is going to be happening. Thermonuclear missiles are going to come through, okay? Also, death and destruction is going to come about. Spoils of war is going to come about. And those spoils of war are going to go into captivity as we did, okay? Continuing in verse 29, ye shall not be unpunished, for I will call for a sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth, saith Yahweh. Therefore prophesy against them all these words, and say unto them, Yahweh shall roar from on high, and utter his voice from his holy habitation. He shall mightily roar upon his habitation. He shall give shout as they that tread the grapes against all the inhabitants of the earth. And individuals that tread grapes, you can look at Isaiah 63 and that analogy, and how the Lord's garment was full of blood. Okay, all right. That's how it's going to be on the return of the Lord. Okay, it says a noise shall come even to the ends of the earth. For Yahweh hath the controversy with the nations, he will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, saith Yahweh. All right. This is verse 32. It says, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, And a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth, and the slain of Yahweh shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. It says, they shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground, okay? And that's what's going to happen to these nations, okay? All right, let's read this article. North Korea issues nuclear threats to United States. And this is what we want. We want the threats to further and to continue to come about until they actually press the button, okay? We want the Lord to put his spirit on these individual nations to press that button, okay? But nonetheless, it says North Korea has issued a threat to the United States, saying it will counter the enemy's strategic threat with our strategic means. One thing I want to add, with the federal government doing this cleansing of it, I did a video last week where an individual from the FAA that worked on missile defense systems said that they're taking people out of that category of defense for America, which is only leaving America more vulnerable to attack, okay? But nonetheless, take with that information and do what you will. It says here, the threat was made in a press statement issued by the Chief of Information of Office at DPRK, all right? It says Newsweek has contacted the United States Department of Defense via email for comment. Probably nothing came about from that. It says Pyongyang has long cited defense cooperation between the U.S. and South Korea, including joint exercises as a destabilizing force that justifies its nuclear and ballistic missile programs. All right, more missile talk programs right here. All right, Washington and Seoul have formed an alliance under the Mutual Defense Treaty, and 28,500 U.S. military personnel are stationed in South Korea to deter aggression from North Korea. Their allies have frequently conducted combined military exercises. It says what to know. North Korea said the U.S. and its vassal forces are getting ever more pronounced in the military provocations, citing the presence of B-1B strategic bomber over the Korean Peninsula on Thursday, and the test firing of a Minuteman III ICBM at the Vanguard Space Force base the day before. Such military muscle flexing of the U.S. clearly shows the invariable supremacy ambition of the present U.S. administration to gain overwhelming edge of strength through the maintenance and updating of military capabilities capable of mounting a nuclear attack on any country and region of the world without prior warning, Pyongyang said. Okay, so it's talking about their joint exercises and how it's strengthening the U.S. military and one of its allies, okay? It says it went on the tactical Yankee-style arrogance that pride, okay, the scriptures say pride, the pride of the hypocrite and the pride of that individual and Job, right, is only going to be but for a moment, okay? And we know America is proud. It says it went on the typical Yankee-style arrogance and shameless and gangster-like double-standard logic of the United States, which brands the DPRK's nuclear deterrence for self-defense as an injustice means and places legality and regularity and on former moves for bolstering up nuclear force for hegemony can never work on the DPRK. The DPRK's nuclear force is a means for legitimate defense to safeguard the national sovereignty and the security of the region. All right. It also says here, the Pyongyang ended with the DPRK solution to the military threat and challenge to the security being posed by the U.S. is clear and consistent. The DPRK will counter the strategic threat of the U.S. and other enemies with strategic means and continue its responsible military activities to control and manage the unstable security environment on the Korean Peninsula with powerful deterrence. So these nations, specifically Korea, all right, is prepared and or preparing itself, okay, to strike America while defending itself and or before defending itself, okay? Let's see. Let me get a scripture because I'm just reading, all right? Let me get Jeremiah 51. Jeremiah 51. This is Jeremiah 51 and 1. It says, "Thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that raise up against me a destroying wind." And that destroying wind is going to come from these thermonuclear missiles. This threat is part of the rumors of war that's coming, okay? All right? Or as an add-on to the rumors of war that have already came and are coming about, okay? And that's Matthew, the 24th chapter, all right? It says here, "And will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her, and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. And against him that bendeth the bow, let the archer bend his bow. And against him that lifteth up his brigandine, and spare not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts." So the Lord is going to destroy the armies of these nations, all right, with nuclear missiles and the return of Yahushua, okay? 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, okay? It says, thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets. For Israel have not been forsaken, no Judah of his power, of Yahweh of hosts, though the land was filled with sin against him, against the Holy One of Israel. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of Yahweh's vengeance. He will render upon her a recompense. All right. And the recompense is going to be by thermonuclear missiles, okay? All right. Dumb shit. Let me see. All right, it says what people are saying. The training was conducted to display the U.S. extended deterrence capabilities against North Korea's nuclear and missile threats, and bolster interoperability of South Korea U.S. combined forces. Pyongyang said that North Korea's accelerated bolstering up and is a realistic requirement for coping with the military threat of the U.S. and its satellite countries. That America's behavior proved that the DPRK armed forces building up the capability to fight war with nuclear deterrence as a pivot is just an inevitable option. The U.S. will continue to conduct exercises with its South Korean and Japanese counterparts as tension persists on the Korean Peninsula. The White House said Trump is committed to achieving the denuclearization goal by a mix of toughness and diplomacy. Salakia doing all that skipping around while I'm reading, all right? But let's get a few more scriptures. This is Revelation 18 and 1. It says, "And after these things I saw an angel come down from heaven, saying, having great power, and the earth lighted with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen and is become the habitation of devils." Let's look at this word fallen right quick. The words from fallen, it says descended from a high place to a lower place, to be thrust down, to fall under judgment, come under condemnation. All right. Of those overcome by terror, astonishment, or grief. All right. Let's see. To fall down, fall into ruin. All right. And that's to be perished or lost. All these things coincide. Look at this. It says to be removed from power by death. And that's what's going to happen to America, man. Okay. That's a whole nother lesson within itself. All right. But these nations are they're ready to stand tall against America. Okay. All right, but Lord will give us edify to the